before we proceed to finding the numerical coefficient of a plus b, or the numerical coefficient of this quadratic term, let's try to find first what is the value of a, or either b or c. So if we try to go back to this equation, so we can combine bx plus cx, or this is bx squared plus cx, and we can combine this one through bx plus c times the quantity of x. So since we can make this expression to this expression, if we try to go by, if we try to check if this equation, if the expression rather is equal to this expression, so x times bx is equal to bx squared. Then c times x, that is equal to cx. So bx squared plus cx is equal to bx plus c times x. So if this expression, if we tend to find the value of a, for example, let's assume that x will be equal to 0. X will be equal to 0 man. Why? Because if we substitute the value of x to this term is natin mabili na a. For example, so if our x value is 0, so x squared, that is equal to 0. 0 minus 1 equals a times the quantity of 0 squared plus 1 plus b times 0, or the quantity of 0 squared plus c times 0. So cancel, then the mabili na lang is ang negative 1, or 0 minus 1, that is negative 1 equals a. Ganun a, because 0 squared, that is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. Then 1 times 1 times a is a. So the value of a will be negative 1. So we have here a is equal to negative 1. Now, let's try to find the value of b and c. Okay? So since if we try to arrange this equation and this equation, they are the same. Nga the same man sila, it's because of the equal sign. Meaning, x squared minus 1 is equal to a plus bx squared plus a plus cx. So since a plus b is the numerical coefficient of our quadratic term, this is the quadratic term, and cx, kaning cx, since nasa variable x which is raised to the power of 1, mao ni ang atong linear term sa atong equation. Linear term sa atong equation. And a is equal to the constant term of our equation. So again, since these two equations are equal, so x squared minus 1, if we try to arrange this equation, that would be a plus b, x squared plus cx plus a, quadratic term followed by a linear term, then a constant term. So since this expression, the numerical coefficient of this quadratic term is a and b, then this one is equal, this quadratic equation, quadratic term is equal to this quadratic term. Kaya, nga naman, it's because this equation and these equations are equal man. So the quadratic term of this equation is equal to the quadratic term of this equation. So the numerical coefficient of x squared here in this equation is 1. So 1 equals a plus b. Sir, nga 1 equals a plus b, sir. It's because the numerical coefficient of this quadratic term is also equal to the numerical coefficient of this quadratic term. And the numerical coefficient of this quadratic term is a plus b. Now, to find the value of a, then we can, to find the value of b, we can substitute the value of a, which is negative 1. So 1 equals negative 1 plus b. Then 1 equals negative 1 plus b. Combine like terms, we move negative 1 to the left hand side. So 1 plus 1 equals b. So 1 plus 1 equals b. That would be 1 plus 1 is equal to 2 equals b. So the value of b will be equal to positive 2. So negative 1, then b is equal to 2. Since we have here 3 constants, kailangan tayo a, b, and c. So we need to find the value of c. So unsa may value sa c? So since going back to this equation, since parehangan sila equal, so if we try to find the linear term of this expression, kanina equation, ang linear term niya is equal to 0. Nga naman, x squared minus 1 is the same thing with x plus 1, x minus 1. So yung linear term kay 0. So meaning, atong linear term po diri na equation, since equal man sila, so 0 pod. So plus 0x, meaning the value of c is equal to 0. Para mas pareha sila, a plus b, x squared, if ato i-check if pareha magid sila, so x squared minus 1 equals a plus b, or negative 1 plus 2, that is equal to positive 1. Positive 1x squared, then since the value of the linear term in this equation is 0, so 0 po na atong value sa atong linear term. So plus 0x, or cancel. Ako lang bigla na kayo suwat, wala di mag-keyboard. Then plus a. Kung sa may value sa itong a, negative 1. So equals negative 1. So x squared minus 1 is equal to x squared minus 1. Meaning, sakto ang value sa itong a, b, and c. Okay? Going back to the integration process, so that would be to integrate that expression rather, is by using the partial fraction. So ito, that is the integration of x squared minus 1 over x and x squared plus 1. Tama ba? So then that is equal to a over x plus b x plus c over x squared plus 1. If you still remember, a over x plus bx plus c over x squared plus 1. So since we tend to find the integration of this equation, then ato po i-substitute ang ating equation, ato integral side. Integral dx with respect to x, dx, then dx. Then substitute the value of a, b, and c. So integration of a, which is negative 1 over x, negative 1 over x dx, okay, negative 1 over x dx plus the integration of b, 2x plus, since the value of c is 0, so 2x plus 0. Then since walay value of 0, ato din nato siya i-apply suwat. So 2x over x squared plus 1 dx. Now we can now integrate these two fraction. Kaya nabuwag naman siya. So negative 1 over x, that is equal to negative ln the absolute value of x. Tama ba? Plus then the integration of 2x over x squared plus 1. So in this process, we can use u substitution. So we let u be equal to x squared plus 1 and the derivative of u is equal to 2x. Why? Because x squared plus 1, by the use of power rule in derivatives, that is 2x then minus 1. So 2x dx. Then to find the value of dx, we divide both sides by 2x. 2x. That is equal to the integration of 2x over u. X squared plus 1 is our u. Then the derivative of u over 2x. Then 2x and 2x will be cancelled. So the remaining part will be the integration of 1 over u du. So saan man na ito pag-integrate? Since 1 over u man siya. So the integration in this expression is ln u. Okay? So the answer for this integration is equal to, can I have here, can I transfer this one? Is equal to negative ln absolute value of x plus 1 over u, and that is the same thing with 1 over x. Now, so ln the absolute value of our u. Kung saan na the absolute value of our u, tawag na, u is equal to x squared plus 1. So the absolute value of x squared plus 1 plus c. And that's the answer of our integration. Okay? So, that's the end of my discussion. I hope you learned something in this discussion, this topic. Thank you everyone and goodbye.